Well, hello everyone, and we welcome you to this new edition of News You Can Use here at LaSalle TV. I am your host, Thera Martin. Glad to be back once again. And today on the program, wow, we've got a great show, and we're so excited to be able to introduce our first subject. We're going to be talking about the Legacy Trolley Line Tours coming to Philadelphia and the history and the reason behind it. Stephanie is going to join me in this first segment. And when we turn the page a little bit later on the show, we're going to talk with a professor from Utah who's talking about a new app she's created to help people who are ex-offenders coming home, how to get them back on track. So stay along for the ride. We've got a great edition of News You Can Use. We'll start in just a moment.
Glad to be here, Thera Martin, with you on this edition of News You Can Use.
Very much for having me.
Wow.
Good to
Said,
see you.
it is good to see you, but you didn't say that. You said you can use rebooted. I'm Thera Martin, and I am glad to be back at LaSalle TV.
Well, hello, everybody, and we're glad to have you with us on this edition of News You Can Use. And in our first segment, we are talking about Center 1968 and a launch of a new wonderful program, a trolley line, a legacy trolley line that they are introducing here in Philadelphia. We're excited to have you join us, Miss Stephanie. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And you know what? Before I actually started recording, I should have said, now, I want to pronounce your name correctly, so teach me how to pronounce it correctly. And then I didn't do that. So now you got to teach me while we're on the air. How do I pronounce your last name properly?
Etienne.
Etienne.
Eh,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Okay, well, I thank you for that. And now I will pronounce it correctly. I pray we're going to do it right. But we want to
That's
talk
okay.
about what you all have coming up.
Yeah.
You and Jasmine Sessoms, the founder of Center 1968. So before we talk about the Legacy Trolley Line, give us a little background information on Center 1968.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. So, Center 968 is a nonprofit organization based here in Philadelphia, and our mission is to ensure that women, particularly Black women, have the resources, the support, and the access that they need to enter the political space or the public policy space. So, we host fellowships, trainings, and we are doing a lot of advocacy work right now as well.
I attended a meeting the other night with the National Congress of Black Women, and as soon as I said Center 1968, several women's faces at the table just lit up. They're like, "Oh yeah, we know about Center
Yeah,
1968. We know Jasmine Sessoms. You all do great work." So that's
thank
quite a
you.
reputation to have.
Yeah, it's definitely a labor of love, but we're determined and we fully believe that Black women, we get talked at enough and we're not encouraged enough. We're not equipped enough. So
Mhm,
it's a
mhm.
mission that we're really passionate about.
All right, so talk about this new passion of what you're doing with Legacy
Yeah.
Trolley Line.
Yeah, so the idea came from Jasmine, and we were looking to do some kind of an event as the entire country is celebrating America 250.
Mhm.
And we just identified that there was a lack of identifying or engaging with other areas of the city. Number one, a lot of the things were focused on Citrus City. And number two, the lack of awareness brought to Black women and the impact that they had on building Philadelphia up. So, through a little bit of research and work, we decided to launch the Legacy Trolley Line. It's going to be a trolley tour that occurs in Center City and in the Germantown area. And we're going to be highlighting everyone from well-known people like Caroline LeCount, Caroline LeCount, and then smaller people that aren't many people don't know about, or Washington, or even the Women's Medical College of Philadelphia, which was one of the first medical colleges in America that even allowed Black women to study medicine. And then we have Center City, where we're going to be highlighting, Frances Ellen Watkins and people like Sarah Bass Allen, who gets tends to get overshadowed because of her husband and Mother Bethel, and the Institute of Colored Youth and things like that. So we're going to be doing all of these different trolley stops, highlighting the history, but more importantly, highlighting the work that Black women did to build up these neighborhoods in Philadelphia as a whole.
Now, by the time this particular program hits the air, certainly we'll be past the March 31st event. But on March 31st, your organization is going to do a launch, a kickoff for this trolley tour that will
Yeah.
happen through April and into the first week or maybe even more in March, in May, if the
Yeah.
demand is there.
Yeah, so we're doing a press conference March 31st to kind of launch this. But also, more importantly, I think it's important for me to note that we want to ensure that we're bringing awareness to the work that other organizations do in Philadelphia. Aside from stops, also going to be going to museums that are not, visited often, and bringing awareness to other organizations like the 1838 organization and the Black Journey Walking Tour. Those organizations exist. They do this work day in and day out, and it's very important for us to highlight them as well. So yeah, as you shared, March 31st is the press conference, and then we're going to be having a total, I believe, 6 or 7 tour dates for both of these locations. And the tickets are on sale now, so you can go get your ticket. And the trolley tour, like I said, is going to be these different stops. You're going to get admissions to museums. We're going to stop at some Black businesses to support Black business owners as well. So we're hoping that it's just a great experience, but more importantly, highlighting the work of Black women.
So very exciting. When I looked at your list and some of the stops along the way, well, at the very top was my number one mentor, the Honorable Dr. C. Dolores Tucker. When
Yeah.
I was 18 years old, I met her out in Marquette University, which is where I was attending college. She came out to be our guest speaker when I wanted to become an AKA. I wrote to her and not knowing that she would really come, but she did come. And so she's always been a special lady in my heart. And so that's one of the stops along the way will be at her home, which is on Lincoln Drive.
Yeah, and her
Mhm.
home, and then also Sadie T.M. Alexander's home is also in the same area. So we'll be stopping at their homes. And I just have to quickly correct myself. So the other organization that does this work day in and day out in terms of highlighting history is called the 1838 Black Metropolis. So I just wanted to get their name correctly. So yeah, so we're going to be stopping at their homes too. And the
Mhm.
importance of that, particularly in the Germantown area, is there's so much history in the Germantown area,
Mhm. Mhm.
particularly in like the early 1900s and the 1910s. A lot of the Black women that we highlight lived in this area.
Mhm.
And then also we have the Lest We Forget Museum that's in this area as well. We have the Four Color Girls Museum
Mhm.
that's in this
Mhm.
area as well. Organizations that have been working for years curating our history, Black history, and the importance of highlighting it and keeping it sacred, especially now as people are trying to actively work to take it away. So yeah, Carolyn LeCount is up there, and there's so many other stops that we're going to be going to as well.
So now, as I looked at the press materials, it sounds like you can pick the Germantown tour or the Center City tour.
Yeah, yeah. So there's two
Okay.
tours. So you'll be able to do either the Center City tour and then the Germantown tour. And each tour is going to vary a bit. So for example, the
Hmm.
Center City tour, one of the stops, you're going to be more entrenched in what was called Old Philadelphia. So the
Yes.
Philadelphia that was inhabited by, Black Americans, previously enslaved folk, during that 1800s, 1700s time period. So you'll be able to learn a bit of that
Mhm.
history and then also see what it looks like in the present time. One place that we're going to be stopping is the Marian Anderson House, her plaque as well. Churches like Shiloh Baptist, Union Baptist, things like that.
Mhm.
And in the Germantown area, it's a little sooner in time, so late 1800s, early
Mhm.
1900s, where you engaged with women like Ora Washington, who does not get enough insight or play, but was such a staple in sports and made so many waves for the women that we're seeing and that we admire now in sports. And the fact that she used to play at the YWCA at that time. Now it's no longer there, but her plaque is there, just highlighting her work too. So yes, there are two different tours that you'll be able to choose from.
When I think about Crystal Bird Fawcett,
Yes.
the first Black woman elected to the state legislature in Pennsylvania. Wow. Yeah, I want to go by her crib.
Yeah, and see that, and then also raising awareness to the need to preserve these locations, right?
Yes.
Philadelphia, we know, is a historical city, but the markers and the stops that tend to be preserved and the safest are the ones closer to Center City. Um,
Mhm.
and if we're all involved in shaping the history, then these other stops that are markers that are historical markers, right? They have their own marker there, should be
Yeah.
preserved, should be protected, and that's another thing that we hope to highlight on the tour. That if more people are going to go visit it, then that'll give more desire to the Historical Society to ensure that these sites are maintained.
Okay, so now what can people expect to purchase these tickets to be on the Legacy Line Tour? Like, what time does the tour start and what time does it conclude? And along the way, is there an opportunity to grab a snack to eat? Or, people like
Yeah.
me, we're greedy.
No, absolutely. So each tour, the Center City tour is starting a little earlier than the Germantown tour. So the Center City tour starts at 9:30. The Germantown's tour, we're looking to start around 9:15-ish just because of traffic. But that'll be clarified on the website. Tickets are available on our Eventbrite. If you go on our social media at center_1968, you'll find it there. Or if you search the Legacy Line Trolley Tour in Eventbrite, it'll pop up.
Mhm.
In terms of food, yes, we'll be stopping at food spots. We're trying to keep those a little hushed, so just to keep them as a surprise for people. But yes, you will be able to stop at food, but also we'll be providing some food as well, and just ensuring that people are having a good time on the trolley as well.
Oh, it sounds like it's going to be so very good from the kickoff on March the 31st all the way through. So essentially in April, it's like almost what every Saturday in April, you've got
Yes, so pretty much
dates.
every weekend in April, there's one Sunday day, I believe.
I saw that one Sunday
Yes.
date.
And then we end the first or the second week in May. With everything happening in Philadelphia, FIFA is coming and then now the Roots Picnic and stuff like that. We wanted to ensure that we launched ours a little earlier and kind of,
Hmm.
usher in everything else. So if things go as well as we're hope that it does, we're hoping to launch more dates as tickets are bought up.
Oh, this sounds really, really good. I am so appreciative of the opportunity to talk to you, to
Yeah,
be
thank
able to let
you.
our viewing audience know about the Legacy Line, Black women who helped to build Philly. This is great. This is so needed. And we are believing that it's going to be so successful. You're going to have to add extra dates for sure. So please give us one more time, give us the ways in which people can get those tickets, get them today.
Yeah, if you go on Eventbrite and you type in Legacy Line, it will pop up. It's one of the first things that'll pop up. Or if you follow us on Instagram, if you go to at center 1968, sorry, at center_1968, click on our link, and the RSVP link will be there, and you'll be able to purchase tickets there as well.
Okay. I know that there's a lot of women's organizations that you all have been
Yeah,
reaching out to. You want the women to know most of all. I mean, gentlemen are welcome to come too.
absolutely.
Young ladies, girls, bring mothers if they can bring their daughters or their
Yeah.
granddaughters. It's a wonderful opportunity to be exposed and to learn some great solid history about Philadelphia women.
Yes, it's so important. It's so important.
Mhm,
And I do
mhm.
want to harp on the admissions to the museums. So you're not just going to be learning about these other important figures, but you'll be able to be supporting small curators, museum curators in Philadelphia that are doing such great work and really, really need the support. So we definitely hope people come out.
Stephanie, thank you so very much. Jasmine, I want to say thank you to her as well. I
And
cannot wait
it
for
was her
March.
vision.
I
Yes.
can't wait for March 31st and after that to actually see this trolley tour take off and really hit like a positive ball of fire in Philadelphia.
Oh, thank you so much for all your support there. I appreciate it.
I thank you, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too.
This is News You Can Use here at LaSalle TV. I'm your host, Thera Martin. We'll be back with our next guest in just a moment, and we're looking forward to sharing with you information about a new app that has been developed by Professor Emily Salisbury. Stay with us. We shall return.
Yes, I need help with my daughter.
As you go about your daily life, look closer. As you gather with family and friends, look closer. Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. And for 50 years, Covenant House has worked relentlessly to keep them safe and protected. They get clean clothes, hot meals, medical care, and a safe place to sleep. So look closer at Covenant House. To help or get help, go to covenanthouse.org.
Hello, everybody. We welcome you back to this edition of News You Can Use. And as I promised, in this segment, we've got Dr. Emily Salisbury with us, and she is the founder of Salisbury Consulting, LLC. She's an associate professor and director at the Utah Criminal Justice Center College of Social Work. And on top of all of that, she's got an app out that can help people who are returning citizens. I am so glad, so very glad to have you with us, Dr. Salisbury. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Thera. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, yes, yes. The criminal justice system is a system that is of concern to a lot of people who really care about people who, particularly people who are falsely accused, wrongly accused. I myself, aside from working in broadcasting and communications for the last 40 some years, hate to date myself, but it's been a long time. I have also had a passion for working with, in particular, women who are incarcerated and coming home soon. And so for 13 years of my career, I would leave the radio station or leave the newspaper outlet where I write a column every week, and I would go to a local women's prison and teach job readiness and life skills classes to women.
Amazing.
And it's just been a passion of mine, a passion ever since.
Oh, well, then we have a lot to talk about, Thera. Yeah, like you're one of we're kindred spirits in that way. Thank you
Mhm.
for sharing. Yeah, it's important work.
So tell us about some of what you're doing and then talk about this app that you've created.
Yeah, yeah. So I've really spent my entire academic career trying to amplify the voices of justice-involved women who oftentimes are ignored and an afterthought, dismissed in our criminal legal
Mhm.
system. And there are lots of many reasons for that, but I have felt like it's my professional sort of responsibility to really use the education and knowledge that I have to share what I know. And what I know is that justice-involved women pose far less danger to our public community, to public safety, and oftentimes they're treated as just as dangerous. And one of those iron laws of what we say in criminology and criminal justice is that one of the best predictors of crime is actually a person's sex, right? So the fact that women are committing far less crimes than what we would typically see with justice-involved men means that we, of course, need to support them in a different kind of way. So
Mhm.
I've really enjoyed spending my entire professional career doing research on behalf of how their pathways to crime and the criminal justice system look really different in
Mhm.
comparison to men. Things like, lots of trauma and victimization in their past. It's really, really abhorrent how much trauma and victimization they've experienced. I don't think I could have survived some of the things that they've experienced. They're primary caregivers of kiddos, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
there's a number of different and distinctions with when it comes to justice involved women. So I've been trying to amplify and highlight that.
And so glad that you are. I think back on my ladies and how one day they said to me, I went to teach class, and they said, Miss Thera, can you do something to help us get more sanitary napkins? We only get five. And I
Yep.
said, five a day? They said, no, Miss Thera,
Well,
five for the whole cycle. I said, what?
yeah.
Steam started rising. I said, well, who's? And at the time, there was a man who was in charge of that women's prison. And I guess he just wasn't sensitized to what a
Yeah.
woman would need. Oh, as soon as I left the prison that day, I was on the phone calling, I'll tell who, State Senator Shirley Kitchen. At that
Good for
time, she
you.
was still actively senator, and that was her district. And I told her, and she got on the phone with the head of the prison that very night. And the next day, when I went back to the prison, the lady said, "Thank you, Miss Thera. Now we get more sanitary napkins." I mean,
It's
wow,
incredible. I know.
something as simple as that.
This is exactly the kind of thing that I mean. It's
Mhm.
insanity, right? Like trying to promote changes in policy and procedure that you and I, if we were in charge, would know right away. Like this
Yeah.
is, just a given. And because our systems are based off of men and then applied to women,
Mhm.
as if the caloric
Mhm.
intake needs to look the same for justice involved women who are in prison, as if the
Mhm.
uniforms need to be the same size.
Yes.
I once had to go to a state group of jail administrators, I won't name the state, and let them know why they needed to issue bras to justice involved women who are
Mhm.
incarcerated in their jails. Like that was
How about
literally
women
three
not
years
being
ago.
shackled while they're giving birth? Women
Yeah,
who unfortunately get locked up, get
yeah.
incarcerated while they're pregnant. And when it's time to give birth, I had women who told me they were going to be shackled, and we fought against that.
Yep. Yep. It's even down to that terrible practice as well, Thera. And it's wonderful to hear that there are others like you who, of course, care and really dare to care about this
Mm-hmm.
population. It takes
Mm-hmm.
courage to do it because, again, they're oftentimes ignored, dismissed, and an afterthought.
Yeah. Yes. So now talk about this app that you've developed.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it.
Mm.
So, let me give you a little bit of a background about how I got here. So, right, I'm a researcher, I'm a professor. I'm not a technology like expert. I'm learning all kinds of new words like UI and UX experience in this
Huh?
world. But I got introduced to a company called Interactive Life, a startup software company about 3 years ago, and the CEO was building out the nonprofit arm of their company and said, "Hey, we know you're an expert in this space. If
Mhm.
you could develop any tool, any app that you think justice involved women or formerly justice involved women might need, what would it be?" And so it was this incredible opportunity to have this creative experience of really thinking through what is it that justice involved women might need. And
Mhm.
so I created this app called the Self-Assessment for Fempowerment, or the SAFE app. And it's intended to drive and educate and navigate formerly justice involved women, currently justice involved women, to evidence informed uh, health resources that are curated by me, right? So you and I maybe take for granted, at least sometimes I do, how much health information I have access to just because of the privilege that I have,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I understand how to weed through a whole lot of health resources that are good, bad, and ugly, so to speak. What's evidence informed? What's good for me and what isn't?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I created this app really to help educate women around the 8 domains of health and wellness, not just about, how much food you ingest, what you put in your body and how much you move, but also, right, like your spirituality, your social connections, your financial health and wellness, sexual health and wellness, which nobody unfortunately really has this conversation about sexual health and wellness with justice involved women. If ever there was a population we should be doing that with, it's them. And, things like environmental health and wellness. So,
Mhm.
really to help educate them that it's not just the medical stuff, it's also what we call in my world the social determinants of health and how
Yeah.
each one of those is integrated. So it's a short 5 questions sort of prompts for each one of those domains. And then that gets people sort of thinking through, okay, what does Dr. Salisbury, what does Emily Salisbury really mean about like
Mhm.
spirituality? Does that mean religion? Well, I don't like religion. Well, it doesn't have to be religion. It could be anything that is spiritual to you. And then it pushes again free content to them that's curated by me, intentionally not by an algorithm, that is safely
Mhm.
contained in a way that's digestible, written at a fourth grade reading level. And I'm working with content providers that are doing incredible work. Like I work with a woman who she delivers yoga behind bars in one of the
Mm.
largest jails in the country in Harris County, which is Houston. So she's delivering out like micro skill content around yoga poses specifically that are
Mhm.
easy on the body, micro skill interventions about what does it mean to be in a healthy relationship, right? Like just a number of different interventions that I'm hoping improve access to
Yes.
evidence-informed information as well as improving digital health literacy.
So now, once you get this app actually launched, because it's not launched yet, right?
It is launched. It's freely
Oh,
available now.
oh, okay. So, I mean, this is one way to get the word out, but I know I'm not the only game in town. We're talking about across the whole United States. We're not talking about just one city or one state. It's
Yeah,
amazing. So, the PR piece on this to get the word out effort
yeah.
has got to be pretty massive for you.
For sure, it's huge. And so I'm using my current network that I have just in terms of the work that I've done around helping identify justice involved women's needs. And I have a number of people, of course, that I work with across the country and really globally. But another exciting thing is this opportunity to be part of a community resource fair at a Philadelphia 76ers game on April 12th.
Woo woo.
Yeah. So suddenly I'm an NBA fan and a Sixers fan. And really, what's really incredible, specifically in Philadelphia, right? I've been asked to be part of this community resource fair that's part of helping people understand whether or not they qualify for criminal record expungement. So
Hmm.
I'll promote this legal app that people may want to download as well, which isn't affiliated with me, but the Community Resource Fair. If you have a criminal record, which 1 out of 3 Americans currently does have a criminal record, if you do in the state of Pennsylvania and you want to think about getting your record cleared, go to rasalegal.com, Google RASA, RASA legal, and you can see if you can qualify to get expunged. So,
Hmm.
as part of that expungement fair, so to speak, I'll
Hmm.
be promoting the app with formerly justice involved women. So I'm excited
Oh,
to promote
this,
it there. It's going to happen
yes.
before the game.
And I'm going to promote it. I'm going to go on my Facebook page and start talking about it there because the my nonprofit that I work for, Allegheny West Foundation in North Philadelphia, we are hosting an expungement fair on this Thursday, March 26th.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
this will be our first time hosting one at our office, but our Councilwoman Cindy Bass, she often hosts expungement fairs, State Representative Ronnie Green, a number of other elected officials there. They're hosting them, and one that I attended recently that was hosted by Councilwoman Cindy Bass. 400 people showed up.
Yeah,
And of that 400 people, I would say probably 95% of them were men, the rest were women. And some of the women who did come, they came with their babies and
their
strollers and
children.
babies
Yep.
on their hips, but they were women who had a past record and they're trying to get their records clean so they can move on with their lives. So
Yeah.
people are really wanting to do that expungement piece. Um,
Yes.
do you feel like it works for a lot of people?
For sure. Absolutely. Right. It's important that people know they have certain kinds of civil rights, right?
Hmm.
Once,
Hmm.
if you qualify, and it's different in every state, of course,
Yeah.
and I don't know the ins and outs of what happens in Pennsylvania, but that's a right. And it's an
Hmm.
expensive thing to go through in terms of reducing your or clearing your record. And so this particular company called Ross Illegal, again, I'll send you
Hmm.
the information so you
That
can
sounds so
promote it,
important
is
because
really
I hate for
important.
people to have to waste time. If
Exactly.
there's no way that they can get expunged, they need to know that before they come and
Exactly.
stand in a long line and then finally get to see an attorney and then they're
Yep.
told bye bye.
Yeah, totally. So, my goal is to really amplify again what the women need in
Yes,
particular.
yes, yes.
So,
Me
right,
too.
like, yeah, this particular app, the Safe app, is really
Hmm.
intended for women who are in a stable place
Hmm.
emotionally, mentally, right? Like, certainly not
Hmm.
for women in crisis, but for women who are ready to pour into themselves as opposed to pour into everybody else, like we
Yeah.
like to do. That's a
Hmm.
gift that women have. That's a strength that
Hmm.
women have, that we like to, of course, take care of everybody else, but we forget we have to take care of ourselves. And
Yeah.
so, one of the sort of taglines I'm creating for this app is, what is self-care? It's safe care. It's
Hmm.
it's it's safe care that is safely curated for you, that's
Excellent.
evidence informed.
I thank you so much, Dr. Emily Salisbury, for joining me on my program today. And I'm going to be talking this up. I'm already in my head thinking about, okay, I got to write a column about this. And I certainly want to meet you when you come to Philadelphia, if it's at all possible. I want to meet you for sure.
If you're
Thank you
going to
for
be at the
being with
game,
us.
I'll be there.
Okay. Thanks for being with us today. And I appreciate you, Patrice Gaines, for giving me this tip.
Thank you, Patrice. Thank you,
All
Thera.
right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
That's it for this edition of News You Can Use, everybody. We'll see you next time.